plant. Right now, Buick City is a ghost town as thousands of workers there have been sent home. They simply didn't have enough parts to build cars. Buick City is the third assembly plant to close due to part shortages. Nearly 7,000 workers walked out at the AC Rochester plant yesterday over unresolved issues of staffing and outsourcing. Now, just like the cold rain falling tonight, this strike's ripple effect is putting a damper on GM production. Nightbeat's Doug Evans is at GM's Hamtramck assembly plant, the so-called Poletown plant, with more. Doug?
Well, Mort, the second shift here at the Poletown plant is working, and so hands are very busy, but their fingers are crossed that it will stay that way. Others, as you have said, have not been so lucky. In a cold rain, workers went home early. Parts and luck ran out at the same time at Buick City, and that shut down the assembly line. GM builds Park Avenues, the LeSabre, and Olds 98s here. Workers are idle at Buick City, but they stand by the striking workers from the Flint AC Delco plant over the issue of too much overtime. But Buick City workers say they'll need some overtime if that strike in Flint isn't over soon.
Yeah, it makes some difference. It makes us lose money. You know, we can't get paid for it, you know, when another plant go down. That's why I hope AC gets what they want, so we can go back to work.
Financially, it doesn't really affect us that much because the amount of overtime that we've been working more than compensates for, you know, the downtime we're going to have.
Here's a rundown now of the ripple effect. The lack of parts from the Flint plant closed the Pontiac East plant first, with 3,000 workers. Then Buick City with 4,400 now idle. In Lansing, 6,500 workers are waiting to go back on the job. And in Jamesville, Wisconsin, another 3,700 workers are idle because of the Flint strike. Here at the Poletown Cadillac plant, second shift workers were getting off for lunch when they told us they expect to stay on the job. Have they said anything about this plant shutting down because of the Flint strike?
No, we rolled them, man. They need them Cadillacs.
No, not at this moment. No, they haven't.
Okay, you guys getting off shift tonight?
No, we just gonna work the regular 8 hours, right?
Okay, all right. Work a lot of overtime?
No overtime.
No overtime?
Nothing but 8 hours.
8 hours?
Yeah, 8 hours.
Okay, but they haven't said anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
And so the third shift is getting ready to report to work here at the Cadillac plant in Hamtramck. And by all appearances, this plant will be up and running tomorrow as well. Now, the talks between the UAW and General Motors have ended for tonight. They'll resume in the morning. Nothing has been resolved as of yet. And even if the part supply does go back online tomorrow or over the weekend, those plants that have been shut down can't expect to reopen until probably midweek. Mort?
All right, thank you, Doug. If this all sounds very familiar, it should. GM went through this with 2 parts plant strikes last year because its inventory system needs a steady supply of parts for assembly plants. The issues in those strikes were pretty much the same as those prompting this strike in Flint. Carmen?
Testimony resumes tomorrow in the trial of an East Lansing doctor whose decision as a parent led to a charge of manslaughter. Dr. Gregory Messenger's wife delivered a baby boy 3 months premature last spring. Doctors put the infant on a respirator despite Messenger's instructions not to. The baby died after Messenger disconnected the unit.
Timing is important here. 90 minutes, we say, was not a proper length of time to consider these irremediable decisions.
They did not give consent for mechanical intervention, and in fact stated just the opposite.
Much of the testimony will center on the baby's survival chances and Messenger's right to make a medical decision. Tonight, the Oakland County prosecutor says he could be setting a legal precedent in calling for a coroner's inquest into the death last April of Ernestine Duluth. After a stroke, Duluth died at Oakland General Hospital. Witnesses say Dr. Scott Oster prepared an injection of potassium chloride. Duluth's death certificate says she died of potassium chloride poisoning, but some experts say she was brain dead before the injection. The inquest should determine if charges should be filed.
It's early Friday afternoon right now in Kobe, Japan, 4 days after a monstrous earthquake ripped the city apart. And it's another day of assessing damage, counting bodies, and tending to survivors. Nearly 300,000 people have turned to shelters. Their homes have been destroyed. But even with 300 shelters, thousands of people are still on the streets with no homes, little food or water, and little hope. The latest word tonight from the National Police in Japan, more than 4,000 people are dead. More than 700 are missing in the rubble of collapsed buildings, and the number of injured has skyrocketed to more than 21,000.
Here in Detroit tonight, residents of one neighborhood told the police chief what they think about proposals to put more officers on the street. Chief Ike McKinnon is studying proposals to eliminate one police precinct and merge 4 others in 2. Tonight, he urged the Oakland Boulevard community not to jump to conclusions.
It appears as if that we bypassed the fact that these are just recommendations. This is nothing that's etched in stone. The basic concern here is the public safety. That's what we're talking about.
The chief says there are no final decisions.
Well, you probably watch Seinfeld every Thursday night here on Channel 4. I know we do. But for a Detroit family, the real star tonight, well, the stars were not Jerry and Elaine and George and Kramer. They were Myron and Howard. The Nightbeat's Kevin Dietz shows you their special appearance on the show tonight.
1, 2, 3...
On tonight's episode of Seinfeld, a pair of Super Bowl tickets turned into a wild adventure. For Detroit's Lemon family, a set of tickets to the taping of Seinfeld turned into their own wild adventure.
And they were giving out tickets to various shows. So happens that Seinfeld is one of our favorite shows and really his favorite show. And we just wanted to go and see a taping of the show. Had no idea we'd be on the show.
That's right. Not only were they watching the taping of the show, they were chosen from the audience to be on the show and meet Jerry Seinfeld.
He asked me where we're from, said Detroit. Said, yeah, great. Hope you watch me back home. Said, yeah. Gonna have a whole bunch of people watch me back home when we get there.
So tonight, the family gathered around the TV set, waiting for the big moment. It took until the show's final minutes, but then they were there, big as life. Okay, so they weren't exactly big as life. Here, let us help you see them. That's Myram in the hat. And that's Howard's famous smile. With that, it was time for the reviews.
What does everyone else think? So what's next for you 2 big stars?
New York, Florida, Paris. You name it, we're there.
Who knows? Back to California for sure.
So Morton Carmen don't have to worry. You guys are going bigger than local?
Yeah. That's right. Just the beginning. Just the beginning.
In Detroit, Kevin Dietz, Nightbeat.
Well, the show you saw tonight was taped over Thanksgiving weekend. Producers called the Lemon family to assure them they were in the show and did not end up on the cutting room floor. And I suppose that's the way some careers are born.
Well,
So
not
wish them
bad
well.
at all.
Yeah.
Certainly they enjoyed it. Good for them. Could that video your kids love so much lure them to a 900 sex line? The story is still ahead on the Nightbeat.
Hold on to your credit cards. Our Hidden Eye undercover video shows you how anyone could use your credit cards and never even be questioned about it.
And they're twins, but their birthdays are 3 months apart. You'll see this medical miracle next on the Nightbeat.
And remember the first time you saw The Simpsons? What year was it? Find out on the timeline, coming up on the Nightbeat. Take a look at the Miracle Twins, babies born 95 days apart. It's happening in New Orleans. It started in October when Timothy was born prematurely. He weighed just 2 pounds and had several health problems. Then yesterday, Simone Keys delivered Timothy's healthy twin sister, Celeste. Doctors are hopeful tonight that both babies will be home for the weekend. The twins' father is a clergyman, and he says this is nothing short of a miracle. Tonight, a Philadelphia man is charged with murdering the son that he paid a surrogate mother to have for him. And there's a Detroit connection to this story. Police say Alan Austin beat his 6-week-old baby boy to death. Austin's lawyer says he worked with an infertility center founded by Detroit area attorney Noel Keene. Austin paid a surrogate because he was lonely and saw his friends having children. If convicted, Austin could face the death penalty.
It was the perfect ending to a rescue in Kentucky, and tonight it's our video of the day. It took a sledgehammer and a shovel to save this kitten stuck in a drain pipe. After digging a hole, rescuers realized that wasn't enough, so they started breaking away pieces of the pipe with a sledgehammer. They even tried using sausage as bait, hoping the kitten would climb out. It didn't work. After several hours, they were finally able to pull the kitten to safety. Well, just a little dirty.
Well, I could have told him sausage wouldn't work. A little bowl of milk would have done it. Maybe some tuna fish.
Oh, a kitten lover, huh?
I know about their habits. Your kids love them, but one mother is angry tonight with the phone number on a video game. We'll show you why.
Plus, our hidden eye undercover camera will show you why your signature might not be safe. This Nightbeat exclusive will show you how to save your wallet.
It's important for you to try to help as much as you can.
Recognize that guy? He's Detroit's own Jerome Bettis, who's kicking butt in the NFL. Stick around for sports to find out what he's talking about.